What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Coffee and VR weekend live stream. My name is Sean, and that guy next to me is Tyler. And we finally got some No Man's Sky news. We got some info on how to pick it up on the cheap before the VR update drops, which we do have the release date for that. We got some Holoception teasers, an interesting Kickstarter, some upcoming games, and just lots of random stuff. Who knows what all we'll get into. We usually get off track a little bit, so...
So, man, I am super stoked for No Man's Sky. Like, I just got to put that out there. I have been so pumped for this game. I'm, like, ready. I can't wait to have it, you know? And I guess to have a release
Well, you do have it.
I do.
You have No Man's Sky. You just don't have the VR update yet.
I just don't want to play it.
No,
you know what I mean? A lot of guys have hours in this freaking game, and I don't want to touch it. I want to learn it inside VR. And, they've even said that it's a whole new game playing it in VR even. But I just want that game and those... memories and those items and everything to be that VR experience. So I'm just holding out for it. Yeah. It's hard because I know it does look good even flat, but I just can't go back to flat gaming. I can't.
I think this is definitely probably the biggest news story of the week, I would have to say. I mean, I don't think anything this week has really happened bigger than the No Man's Sky release date of the VR update.
No. I mean, it's a big game. I mean, it's a huge game, not even big.
Yeah. I think it's going to be huge for VR. It's going to be awesome for VR.
It is. And just that it's open world, multiplayer. I mean, it's got everything you want it to be.
Yep.
It's going to be a huge game. And my biggest thing that I'm so stoked about is that I think it's going to bring flat gamers over to VR.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of those titles that transitions, people over. And just for that reason alone, I'm excited for it.
What do you think this is going to do to everybody else's online multiplayer VR game? Like, what is this going to do to the player base of everything else? What is this going to look like on the VR LFG?
Ooh,
you know what I mean? I feel like this game is going to be huge. And I mean, so we do have, if you haven't heard the release date, it is August 14th, which is coming up. I mean, that's like 2 weeks from now. You know what I mean? Less than 2 weeks. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows the release date, but just in case you haven't heard the release date, it is August 14th. So,
yeah, I don't know what it's going to do. I mean, I'm trying to think of like what comparable games have done this in the past, and I mean the only one to my knowledge would be like Skyrim or maybe Fallout 4, that were big flat games prior.
And they still get a lot of play time. I mean, like it's Skyrim, huge. There's still a lot of people play Skyrim. And
absolutely. Yeah. Same with Fallout 4. It's on the top charts, and that's single player only.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh my gosh.
See, like people like us that love the multiplayer, love the co-op, stuff like that. I mean, those games that we usually play together, we're going to be playing No Man's Sky together. So are those other games that we like to play that are multiplayer, are those just going to be dead for a while when this comes out?
Well, I think it's going to be hard too because you're going to look at it on VRLFG and it's probably going to tell you the total players in it.
Right.
There's no way of separating because it's complete cross-play between flat and VR. So if it is on there, then it's going to show the total, I would assume, because they don't have a separate VR port for it. It's just built into the game. So it's going to be hard to judge probably how many are playing VR in it and how many aren't. But I think it's going to be huge. I think anybody who's into that game and into it, hours and hundreds of hours into it, why wouldn't they probably pick up a VR headset for it? Because at that point, you want something different. If you put 200 some hours into No Man's Sky, 300 hours, you want a new experience, and you've got it right now. And that's the reason to go buy a VR headset.
You've watched 300 hours of No Man's Sky. Now you get to go into 300 hours. You know what I mean? I don't know. The games that
understands. Nobody does until they try it. Like everyone watching it has VR and stuff, but people that don't and maybe watching this for the first time, it's like you just don't know what VR is until you try it. And
I mean, for the flat gamers, it's a good time to pick up a headset too and get into a game because we have. You can pick up the Rift S for $399. They're pretty readily available. If you have the money and you want to go to the higher tier, you can get your Valve Index. You can pick up a Pimax. Whatever floats your boat in the VR.
You have choices. Yeah. That's what's nice. Yeah. You're not limited to one or two headsets and like which one do I think is better. It's literally whatever range of headset you want to buy. Anywhere from Go, Quest, Rift S, Index.
Well, you're not going to be playing No Man's Sky on Go, but...
No, but I just mean headsets in general. But
I mean, that's for VR headsets, so there's a wide range of prices right now. So you don't have to... I mean, when it first got popular, or when it first came to the consumer space, everything was pretty expensive. So, that held a lot of people off. So if there's been people on the fence and this game is coming out and they love this game, why not pick up a headset? I mean, it's just, if you have a PC that can run it, like, it's a no-brainer. And so
actually, how low of a PC can you run with like the Rift S? You can run a pretty, can't you? I mean, there's people running like 970s or something.
You can,
with them, I think.
Yeah, you can run some pretty low specs and still get some pretty good performance. And I don't know how intensive No Man's Sky is going to be. I don't know how hard that game is going to be to run for people, but I guess we'll find out here pretty soon. And if you haven't picked it up yet, we picked it up on a sale a while back. I think we got it for like $25. And right now on Green Man Gaming, you can get it for right over $20. I think it's like $22 or something. You have to use the code. What was that code?
Summer 12.
Yeah, Summer 12. So right now I think it's $25, and Summer 12 will get you an extra 12% off, I believe.
Yep.
So,
and that link is in the description too of this video. So I did give you a direct link to No Man's Sky, and I think note the code.
Yeah, you did. I
in there as well.
So and Bit Victim says, "I'm looking forward to No Man's Sky, but I predict performance issues on release date. Hope I'm wrong though." And that could, it's a good possibility. I don't know. How dialed in they're going to have this on release. I'm hoping very dialed in so we don't have performance issues. But it's pretty common to have some issues when it first releases. So
sure. I think as long as they give people the options to turn down stuff graphically, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because we've played, we were just talking about it, like Payday, Payday 2. Yeah. That was another one. And Fallout, yes, it does struggle on the high end, but that's an extremely graphically, intense game.
I played Fallout on the 1063 gig back when I had a 1060, and it struggled hard. And that was back when when it first released for the VR. And I could barely run it. Some parts of the game ran okay, and other parts were just a mess. But hopefully this game they've been working on it for a little while now, so hopefully they'll have it at least pretty playable. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, I want to get in there and spend some time in there for sure. So.
And I think people are stepping up their graphics cards at this point a little bit as well. I don't, it's kind of, it hasn't really become a price war. We thought maybe it would.
They're still too
just
expensive.
With all the new
They're
stuff.
Still overpriced,
I know.
But yeah,
it's so crazy. I still don't get all of it either, but it's kind of the way of the world. People, are they really still using and buying them up for bit mining? I'm sure they are.
I'm sure that's still a popular thing. I haven't kept up on that at all, but yeah, I'm sure that's probably why the prices are still high. If they can sell these cards and get the prices they're asking for them, why would they really lower them? People are still buying them, but it's still a ridiculous prices. So hopefully those will come down, and that'll probably help VR grow as well, just because people can get higher end cards for a more affordable price. But
it's hard when you could go out and buy a PS4 and a PlayStation or VR, the whole bit, for cheaper than the graphics card alone to run that stuff. So it's hard. I don't know.
Let's play a trailer for No Man's Sky for the VR.
Oh yeah.
For the VR.
Oh man, I'm too excited already. I don't want to. I don't want to see it. It's bad. I just all the stuff with the buggies and the ships and everything and the other people. I want to see it. The colors, all of it.
The colors look amazing.
Oh, it looks so good.
We need more of this open world stuff in VR.
I know we do. Like that right there.
Yeah.
And
I just recently picked up a go-kart, and the picture was on the Discord, and you mentioned something about that buggy in this game.
Yeah,
I just wanted to practice for No Man's Sky.
It's the first thing I thought of when I saw it too.
Yeah.
I'm like, put a little bigger tires on that thing and be right in No Man's Sky.
That's awesome.
So cool. Like that, you can fly to fly ships and stuff. Like, I like playing Elite Dangerous. But I feel like their multiplayer is so tough, and it's so hard to stay with people, and I'm sure I don't know all the ins and outs of it because that game is very complex, but it's really hard to stay together and be around people and interact. And in this, it looks to me like it's going to be pretty simple, and I'm sure there's people in chat who have played No Man's Sky because I know it's been out there for a while. How long has No Man's Sky been out, actually?
I don't even know. It's been out for a little while, I believe. Because
I
never even honestly followed it. I never really knew much about this game because I wasn't into the flat gaming. Especially PC gaming. I was never a PC gamer. I was an Xbox gamer, so I didn't even know anything really about this until they started talking about the VR port, and the VR add-on, and that was when I started following it and really looking into it a little bit more. But
yep, I actually last night I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the second one, and all I kept thinking of was this game. And I'm like,
yeah.
like the clip there where they're flying through the rock and stuff. Like,
Right.
there's some stuff inside that movie that's like that, and I'm like, I just want to play it. I'm like, come on.
Less
Like,
than 2 weeks now. Less than 2 weeks.
I know.
We're gonna have to
I just feel
dedicate
like
some
we're always
time.
waiting on the next one.
We're gonna have to dedicate some time after work through the week or something to
know.
spend some time in here and figure it all out. So
except honestly, this coming like couple weeks, there's a lot of games dropping, a lot of alphas, a lot of big games coming out. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of good stuff. I feel like we had a hiatus a little bit. I mean, there's been some good stuff come out.
The beginning of the year was pretty dry. Like the beginning of 2019 was it was pretty slow going. Like we didn't have a lot of big stuff all coming out at the same time, and it is picking up as this year progresses, and I think it will throughout the rest of this year, and hopefully even more next year. Hopefully.
Well, and I think a lot of developers had goals of all these new headsets coming out, and they were really wanting to be out for these Gen 2, I guess let's call it, headsets.
Right.
And that they're now releasing these, and I think a lot of the stuff's great. I really do.
I think a lot of the stuff has gotten pushed back too. I think a lot of the stuff had planned to release earlier this year, and I think it's just gotten pushed back. Things just are taking longer than the devs expect, and that's pretty common. But
it happens. Yeah, I mean it is tough. It's hard because a lot of these developers too, they're not experienced VR developers, so you run into all these things that you've never had to worry about.
Yeah.
And we talked about that with the developer from Day to Night, and he was saying that you were in on that conversation I think that night.
I think the VR mag was in there too.
Yeah, we were
actually playing some games, and we were playing some VR games, and then we were talking.
And he was just telling us of like the developing struggle and how real it is, because it's, I mean, so much stuff, that it's having to render and everything, and just having to get the optimization, down to so it can run. And it's crazy. I don't think people realize, they want to go in and nitpick how games are and early release, early access stuff. And it takes so much work. It really does. I mean, I do give them props. I mean, we see all the early stuff and know how far they come in months.
Well, you got to figure a lot of these people are not working on big budgets either. These aren't big AAA companies that have millions and millions of dollars to throw and grind this stuff out. These are a lot of these people are people that are still even learning a lot of the VR stuff. I mean, a lot of we see the time traveling Navy SEAL Ninja Warrior. He's pretty young. I mean, I think he's just out of school or still in school. And I believe the guys that we talked to in chat last weekend, V Ready and that emergency.
Yeah, he's super talented.
Yeah, they're both young. I believe they're both young. And so I mean, a lot of people are learning, but a lot of even the bigger games that we get that aren't the AAA titles are still not the budget that these big companies have. So I mean, it's just hard. I mean, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort, and a lot of help from other people. But so real quick, Wishful said August 2016 was the initial release date of No Man's Sky, which makes sense why I never even really heard about it, because that was when we were getting into actual VR. That was, around the time when the Rift and whatever else came out. I
knew it was out. I mean, it interested me when it came out because I was into Elite Dangerous and stuff at the time, and I knew it was about 2 years old. I didn't think it was actually, that puts it at 3 years old. So that would have been, when we first were getting into VR. So,
and I believe they were trying to get the VR update pushed out around the time of their anniversary of the game, so it makes sense because that was August 2016, so that does make sense. But
that's cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll have it soon enough. But if you guys haven't picked it up, definitely, I mean, for $20 or a little over 20, I don't know if there's tax on that or not. And actually, I would recommend, because he knows the ins and outs of this way better than we do, is on our Discord, hit up the VR Mang. He knows Green Man Gaming and every secret of how to save.
He's good at finding deals. Yeah.
Oh my god.
If you follow us on Discord, I mean, a lot of times he's just throwing up there like, oh, this deal. I think he just picked up a Dirt Rally for like $4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
No.
Yeah.
He was playing it this morning, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really good at picking and finding the really good deals. So, a lot of times he fills us in when there is a good deal. So, if you follow the Discord, you'll be a part of that and have a.
Oh, man, I should have had you grabbed. He had some pictures of, he added those transducers and
I didn't think about that.
To the bottom of his seat.
Yeah.
Oh, man, so cool for the, so you get reverberations and stuff through this into the seat, and it gives you that low end. So instead of having a big subwoofer or something, it kind of replaces that. And he said it actually works really well and was not that expensive. He kind of, if you do check our Discord, which should be in the bottom of our description, it's on there, and man, I can't believe it.
So it's actually almost it's like a force feedback seat almost, because I mean it's giving you those vibrations, and like probably like running over gravel and like different things in the road, you can feel that a little bit more, and those little things make a big difference in VR. Even like a force feedback steering wheel that puts the vibrations through the seat sometimes.
You're not going to get it like from gravel. It's only going to be from sound. So,
right, yeah, because it's picking up the low end of the sound, I believe.
Yeah, right. So you're going to get it from stuff like booms, or like, I mean, you might from gravel.
Yeah, because I mean, if the gravel, it depends on the tone the gravel comes through in the audio. You know what I mean? To what it would pick up as. So I'm not sure. And I haven't tried one of those.
Tuning. But I mean, you can tune them and try and pick up different frequencies and stuff like that. I would assume, because I know he said he had to dial it in, but he said without even dialing it in.
Hey, he just popped in here.
Yeah, which is great.
He just popped in, and we were just talking about him. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, check out the Discord. He's got some cool stuff going on.
So did you? I kind of was talking to you about it. Did you hear about this new sound technology that they developed for VR? And I think it was at Stanford, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So let me pull up that article.
So yeah, so they've been working on the sound technology that's used basically for sound across the board, for sound files, sound bites, stuff like that, has been the same for basically ever. They really haven't changed it a whole lot. And the students, and I'm sure a professor and a project involved, they developed a complete new way to produce sound files, and it takes way less assets and time to process for VR, for spatial audio. So instead of having a file that they're trying to position between a left and a right headphone spatially, I think it's small enough that they can maybe inject it. Now, I'm assuming from the article I read on this, but inject it into the world and a location.
Yeah.
I guess my best example, and not of this because it's too new, but in lo-fi, I had the greatest experience with spatial audio in there because I could pinpoint exactly where that sound was coming from.
Yeah, you could walk into a room and know where it's coming from.
Oh, it was crazy. Like boombox on the ground, you could tell it was down underneath you, standing in front of it. Like, it was that defined. And if they can start pulling this in from this technology and putting it into VR, and it's designed for VR. This isn't brought over. Their goal was to do this for VR, which is really, really cool, because even now colleges and stuff see that there's a use for this kind of thing. And I mean, audio to me is huge in VR. I know you like it too, but for me, it's make or break. When I'm playing shooters, I can just stand there and like look around, and I'm just listening to hear where shots are coming from, and I'm like, okay, it's over there. So that's.
I mean, a lot of times you can be behind a wall with a door on each side, and you can just listen, and which door the person's going to come through because of the spatial audio. And one of the things they were talking about in here is about how the sound effects can make a scene and stuff seem more realistic. And a lot of times, like what they're talking about is like in movies and shows and stuff like that, the sound that they produce, in a surround sound movie is predictable. They know exactly where that sound is going to come from and where that sound is going to end up in a movie. But in VR, it's unpredictable, because a lot of items are interactable. They don't know what you're going to do. Like you might pick up that coffee cup and throw it against that wall, so they can't already have a preloaded, it's not as precise as if they know you're going to pick up that coffee cup and you're going to throw it against that wall, because they can produce that ahead of time. So I think this is a lot of what they're talking about is just real time rendering of these sounds somehow.
Yeah, I mean, getting that coffee cup hitting a wall and that sound of it either breaking on the wall or ricocheting off the wall to pinpoint accuracy would just be incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
so we do have a little video clip of it. I don't think it's like the greatest video clip ever, but it does kind of give you an idea of. So I'm going to play the sound too, so you can hear the sound, because it's big on that. So I don't know how well that video portrays through this either, depending on what kind of headphones you have on and what you're listening to, all this. So it's kind of hard to really fully understand. But
as well, it even shows like the time difference between like the processing time of that sound and everything, and the difference for the algorithms,
Right.
And that's what's huge, because it condenses those files and everything into such a small thing. I mean, it could even probably be server sided, or I mean, they're that small, so it's pretty cool stuff that they're doing. I mean, that's awesome.
It's all these little things that add up that's going to make the future VR experience that much better.
Sure.
I mean, all these little technologies that they're figuring out.
They won't implement them. Obviously they can't right away.
Right.
But I'm sure, big companies are going to be looking into these things, quicker. They'll trickle down. They'll have to build in maybe to, Unreal or Unity and stuff like that. And it does. But hopefully, those development or the engines and stuff pick those up quicker than anybody, because that's actually what pushes it out to the devs to where they can use it faster.
For sure.
That's what gets it to us even quicker. But yeah, it's hard, because then you're relearning, how you're doing all that, and it just adds more time then to developing and then the whole bit. So
it is pretty cool though. I mean, it's definitely
oh my gosh, I know.
A future thing that should help us out a little bit. Every little bit helps. I mean, even like we talked about audio, and that was one of the big gripes about the Rift S is the built-in audio. Like I don't understand. I still can't understand why exactly they went that route, because good audio makes such a big difference in VR, and we see that with the Index headphones. Like I mean, it's just adds to the value of your experience quite a bit.
On every end. I just want to hear my dream for VR, which probably is never going to happen, would be to have spatial audio change depending on where you're at. If you're outside, let's say we're playing a shooter, or
you're saying
exploring
based
a game,
on your own environment that you're physically in
VR. No, in VR. So when you're outside, you don't hear echoes. You don't, your sound sounds different. Every sound. Think, if you shoot a gun outside, what's it sound like?
Yeah, it's going to sound way different than
that. Oh my gosh, your ears would be blown out. So that's a big difference. So to hear that in game live would be incredible.
And that's another one of those things you just don't really think about. You don't think about it until you experience it, and then you're like, whoa. If you were in a game and you'd experience that was when it would hit you this really makes a big difference. But I never even really thought about that before until you said that. So
I mean, there's lots of sound things sound's huge, and how it ricochets off stuff. And we've talked about sound even in our studios and stuff, just trying to figure that out and design stuff that way.
Sound is a complicated thing.
It is.
It really is. But talking about another big game though, we are getting the Respawn game. We're going to figure out finally what it is at Oculus Connect this year.
It's not Titanfall, though. Did you hear that?
No.
Definitely not that.
Yeah,
right.
It's not Titanfall.
Right.
So that's going to be at OC6, and that is in September. So we don't have that much longer for that either. And supposedly they're going to have a playable demo at Oculus Connect that I heard that they'll actually, people that are there are actually going to get to experience it. So we should get some actual video gameplay, not
what
just
I'm surprised with, though, is that they actually wanted Titanfall VR. They talked about it when I think the original Titanfall came out, how cool it would be to have that in VR. So when they started talking about this, I thought it could be a feasible thing for them to be pushing that to VR. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't, but I mean, it probably would have played pretty well in VR, just because it's, first person shooter. You have the mechs you jump into and stuff, which would have been incredible. You could have had the HUD overlay come down and stuff in front of you, and that would have been a lot of fun. But I get it. I mean, it's, just different. So
and I mean, we don't really know anything about what it's actually going to be yet. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be some kind of shooter game, I would imagine, but I don't know. We don't have much info.
Sure. So. Sorry, I'm adjusting my lighting in the background. It's driving me nuts.
Oh boy.
No, that's a problem. Yeah. So let's see. What other? Wasn't there another big game coming out? Let's see. What was that? I was trying to think.
We got Red Matter coming to Quest.
Yes, that's what it was. Red Matter. Yeah. Yep. Which is going to be another port. Which I think. I mean, that's going to be a great game actually. What it looks like too.
Yeah. So they're really doing some different things to actually update to upgrade the visual fidelity in the Quest somehow.
Sure.
And I don't know a whole lot. Do you know a little more info on what they're doing exactly?
I don't. But it actually, to me, it looks better than a lot of games that have been, dumbed down to go onto the Quest.
Yeah,
I don't know
really,
why.
Really good.
I don't know if they're lighting or what they're doing. It does. It looks incredible. I don't know what they're doing, but it really excites me to play it.
Yeah.
Have you played Red Matter? I have not.
No, that is one I never did actually pick up. So they're talking about the Unreal Engine's mobile version. And so they're showing you some before and after shots of this. There's no talking. There's a little bit of music background so we can talk over this, but
what do you mean? Even the reflections look good. I know. Obviously before, PC side and stuff, it looks great. But But really, like that scene right there.
Yeah, but is it really going to look like that in the Quest? I mean, it's still not going to look that good, as it does on a screen. You know what I mean? So I'm really curious to see what it actually looks like in game on the Quest.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it ever says in here like in-game footage. I mean, it's obviously in engine because they have their cameras and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is a render or something that they're not telling us. But I don't think you could say before and after.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, obviously they're focusing on some visual quality for the Quest, unlike, Robo Recall that we were kind of all like, whoa, what happened? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Robo Recall didn't look anywhere near as good as it did on the PC. Like that was one of the, like some of the games I was like, oh, this is pretty similar. It's not that dramatic of a downgrade. I was a little surprised. With Robo Recall, it was pretty clear. Yeah. So I'm interested to see this. So I'm definitely going to pick this up on Quest because I want to see what this looks like inside Quest.
Yeah, it looks really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think whatever they're doing it right. And I think, a lot of other, development studios need to probably look at what they're doing because it's definitely a good example of how to get on Quest and not change your game, not change the image of it and how you want it perceived. So I think it's great. I really do. I think it's cool. I
have one issue.
Are doing that.
I have one big issue, major issue with this. So this comes out on August 15th. No Man's Sky comes out on August 14th.
Not going to play it. Yeah.
It's going to be so hard. Man, that's going to be tough. So this might be one that I don't pick up day one. But
right, true.
But I don't know because it's hard, though. I mean, we're not going to be able to play No Man's Sky on the Quest out, out of town or whatever else. So, I mean, that Red Matter is going to be a great game to have on the Quest because I can imagine that's going to be something, that could suck you in pretty well as well on the Quest if you're
and it's single player, so it's a whole different thing. I'm probably only going to play No Man's Sky if somebody in our community's on or you're on or something.
We're definitely going to get people in there. We're definitely going to have to get a play session with some people.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I mean, that is gonna, I don't know how many players. I'm not sure how many players it can support at one time, but we got to do that. That's going to be awesome.
So we need somebody on our Discord that has played No Man's Sky to figure all that out before.
Yeah.
How to do that because oh man, that would be fun. Yeah, I wonder how many people you can like. I don't know. Can you go on different ships and stuff? Like, can I go on?
I've never played it.
I know, kind of crazy. That'll be cool though. I can't wait. But yeah, we'll have to figure all that stuff out. And it does. Some of that is tough.
So the VR man just said, "What if Dirt Rally 2.0 comes out on the 15th? We can't have like all of these games come out, middle of August. Like that's going to be horrible."
I'm not going to work that week is what I'm going to do.
Well, I already took off 2 days this week for family that's been in town, so I can't take. So time off with the move and family being in town, it's like, oh, man.
Right. It's tough.
We need to schedule, next year we need to schedule like a week off just for VR and figure out when all the big stuff's coming out next year. It's not
Have you worked on your VR room yet? Probably not.
A little bit. I got some new lighting and like I got those light boxes and all that stuff. And I'm not even using them right now. I have like a big LED overhead light just because it makes the room so bright. And I haven't dialed those in yet, so I need some more time. I've messed with them a little bit, and I don't really know much about lighting, so it's hard for me. But I get a lot of issues with wearing glasses. So I get a lot of glare and everything else. So I need to fine tune it a little bit more, and I need to set. And I did get a green screen and stuff, which I've never used a green screen, so I'll have to take some time to figure that stuff out. I don't even have plans really for what I'm going to use it for. It just there was a kit that came with all these lights plus a green screen, and I figured I might as well pick that up.
Sure.
So
yeah, might as well. You never know.
Yeah. So
yeah. I think so. I know Steve Drumheller from Conquer Reality. He has a green screen. Yeah. He's been dabbling with it and stuff. You might want to ask him. He might know.
It's cool. I mean, you can do some really cool stuff with it. So I look forward to messing around with it. It's just the time restraints of everything. You know what I mean? It's hard to get everything.
I mean, I have Live running and stuff in the background, which I'm assuming that's about all you need probably for it.
And you can do a lot of stuff in Streamlabs and everything else with a green screen. So we actually do have Penji in here. I haven't seen Penji in a little while, the maker of the Quest song. And she said that she's excited for Red Matter. So and she hasn't played it yet either. So and there's a lot of people that have a Quest that don't have a PC VR headset. So for them, Red Matter is going to be a lot higher up on the list compared to No Man's Sky because they're not going to play No Man's Sky anyways. You know what I mean? So it'll probably still be a good launch for Red Matter because of just the amount of people that have a Quest and no PC VR headset. So
I don't think there's any multiplayer built into that, is there?
I don't think so. No, I think
Not
that's
that
just all single player. And maybe they'll do an update. I don't know if I haven't heard anything about their roadmap or anything. If they have any kind of plans for that, I highly doubt it. But
probably not.
I'm sure I'm sure the Quest release has been their main focus for a while now, especially if they're doing something pretty revolutionary graphics wise for the Quest.
So. Oh yeah, that takes a lot of work. I mean, to push that over, you're basically redesigning your whole game probably. I mean, not that I know from experience, but I would assume. But
yeah, I mean it's definitely some work, that's for sure. So we do have a couple of other trailers to show. So there's one called Special Force VR, and we're big into the shooter games, so for us that has definitely caught our attention. But this is a hard space to compete in right now. So
it is, but this is actually a flat game that they've added VR to, which I'm curious to see how that's gonna work. I mean, that's a whole. I mean, I don't think we haven't had any like flat ports over to VR
as far as like a PvP
right?
shooter.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
No. And this runs, deathmatch, team deathmatch, and I think they have some type of hold, like domination type style. But it gives you that Call of Duty look. You know, I think if anything reminds me of Call of Duty in VR, it's going to be this.
Yep.
I'm just curious how it's going to perform. I really am. Because even some of their like visuals and stuff on here, like sniping and everything, where we're used to pulling it up and looking through the scope, they still have the black around the screen and everything like you would for flat gaming. So I'm curious how that's all going to be. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I mean, the worlds look really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks like it could have some potential. But like I said, I mean, I don't know. There's so many good first-person PvP shooters. We still haven't got the PvP update from Zero Caliber yet, which I think that's going to be a pretty good competitor too. They're constantly doing updates. They just recently did another update, but they haven't pushed out the PvP yet, and that's what I'm really waiting for. But
which I thought they told us that it was coming very soon, right? I mean, that's what we last heard. But
yeah, so maybe we need to get a hold of them again.
I know. I am excited for that because that game does play. It sounds really well. Yeah. I mean, everything. The gun.
It's an awesome game. Well. It's an awesome game.
It is. We really like the PvP. Yep. I mean, it's what keeps us coming back, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, sure. I'm curious to see how this is going to play. And maybe it'll flop and maybe it'll be, but you're right. It's
a hard
super
space.
Saturated right now. Oh man, there's so many.
Yep. So.
It's tough. I know.
There just aren't enough players. There's just still not enough players to fill all of these PvP multiplayer games. You know what I mean? There's just not enough yet, and that's what's tough.
And it's splitting the player base. So you're either going into one that has the majority, like Pavlov, or you're going into one with smaller, which may be more of what you like. So it's really hard. I don't know. I mean, I still love Pavlov, but at the same time, after playing some of these other ones that have way better mechanics and stuff,
and graphics and everything,
it's hard for me to go back.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in Pavlov back in the day.
I love Pavlov. Yeah. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and it's quick, and you're in and out. It's quick and dirty. It's easy to jump into some games and jump back out. So I get it, but which we haven't tried it much. We played a little bit of the TTT stuff, and we really just need to get back into it and try it again, I would think. But
spend some more time.
It's got a huge player base. There's like 1,000 people playing.
I know. We haven't even looked at a lot of the new maps and stuff that are on there and stuff like that. But
I know.
Yeah, so
we'll get back to it. I know.
So we also have this time stall game. So at least we're getting a couple games announced for Quest. Like it seems like, the frequency of the things coming to the store, like it's kind of hit or miss. Like we never really exactly know when some things are going to drop. Some things we have an idea. Like, we have Red Matter. We know when it's going to release. So at least we're getting some trailers. There are some really good looking stuff that is coming to Quest, which I think they need to focus on. I mean, there does need to be a lot of really high quality, good content for the Quest to keep it growing. And I mean, they're still selling. I mean, you still can't buy one, in Best Buy and stuff. And I don't know if that's a supply chain issue or if that's just that they really are. I mean, Facebook had I think it was during one of their conference calls or there's something like that. They talked about how, that they can't really keep up with demand. And I don't know how many they're pushing out. Like, it's hard to say if that's a marketing ploy. Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to say, but
that's tough.
I mean, it's still one of the staples of VR right now to help it grow is the Quest and getting people that aren't PC gamers or even that people that don't even want to mess with a PC. It is a great thing still that still needs to be pushed. But
So you were just talking about time stall. So funny thing with that, it actually drops on the 15th.
Oh man. So let's play this trailer real quick. I think this one might have voices. Are people talking?
Longing to escape
so let's let this play
your
real
doomed
quick.
apocalyptic planet? Why not lose yourself on a premium contemporary space cruise? Climb aboard the Fantastic Leap, Earth's only crowd-funded luxury escape cruise. Under the steady hand of our captain, you can sit back and relax thanks to Time Stall, our cutting-edge safety protocol. In the unlikely event of an emergency, our volunteer Time Stall safety human will be working tirelessly outside the flow of time to protect our ship and our captain from any potential travel hazards. Aboard the Fantastic Leap, you can let go and unwind with confidence, knowing that our crew is working around the clock to make sure you arrive at your destination relaxed, rejuvenated, and best of all, alive. So why not leave the hassle and toxic stress of life on Earth behind and chart a course for relaxation as you set sail toward a new life of leisure and luxury. Don't waste another second. Become a premium backer now and enjoy the finest space travel experience global crowdfunding can buy. The Fantastic Leap. What could go wrong?
Yeah, that is August 15th.
Yep.
Man.
I like that. The two things I like about that is that they say the spaceship is a crowd-funded built spaceship, which is awesome.
Right.
And then the part where he's the one robot's like swinging from the chandelier drinking champagne.
That's awesome. It definitely has a lot of humor. Fun. It's got a lot of pretty good looking humor in this, and to me, it kind of has the job simulator kind of feel to it, kind of look to it. But I mean, that's a super popular game, so I feel like this on Quest could be. I mean, this could be
great.
Yeah, this could be a pretty awesome.
Be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So,
patent pending.
And visually, it looks really good. So hopefully, this all portrays very well into the Quest. I mean, it looks really good. So.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a good one. I think this will be a good one for the Quest, for sure.
Oh yeah. Let's see what other. There was another.
I mean, there's gonna be a lot of games to play in August. Mid-August is gonna be very busy.
That's the problem. I know. There's so many good things actually releasing right now.
Right.
And my only focus is No Man's Sky, and I just feel like that's gonna be one of the big ones, this year.
I don't know strategy-wise how smart it is to release anything else really big right with No Man's Sky, at least PC VR side. The Quest side I can understand a little bit more, but that's going to be a tough space to compete in. I mean, that's going to be hard.
That's what somebody just said in chat. They said, what could go wrong in 8.15 release? It's like nobody looks what other people are doing. Like,
I don't know. Maybe they don't communicate well between different studios and stuff, which I'm sure to some degree, depending on the relationship between the studios. But I don't know.
Well, sure, they don't look, but I mean, people announce these things, a little bit ahead. So.
Yeah, but I mean, they might have had that date, set up quite a bit ahead of time before they really knew, before the public got release dates of No Man's Sky. I mean, we just got this last week, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So a lot of people probably didn't know that No Man's Sky was coming.
And I get maybe with, Oculus and the way they curate and stuff, they could be signed up for a date,
right.
prior.
And Oculus doesn't really let you talk about much of anything in there as far as the Quest side until they're ready for you to talk about it. We've seen that for sure. Yeah, so really weird, but yeah.
You're not allowed to say the O word. You can't even say Oculus.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know, right? But I mean, No Man's Sky is literally about $20 right now. I mean, this is a huge game for $20. I mean, should be a game that's like $39.99 or something like. I mean, it typically is, but to be able to pick it up for that cheap right before the VR update is, it's hard to pass up. So definitely make sure you click that link. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see it. I don't think we're gonna see it go cheaper than this before launch. Before the VR update. I don't think so.
I'm actually surprised like right now today, having that release date now, that they still have a sale going on, even that they would have agreed to that sale, because I mean, everyone's probably just going to run out and grab it, I would think, but I mean, maybe not.
As long as
but maybe
still,
we're dreaming. Maybe people aren't going to eat it up. Maybe people don't want to play it in VR.
I don't know.
Or maybe people have it already, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people do have it already, so yeah. But
so that could be the fact too, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be the game, man.
Yep.
Any tips? If anybody has any tips on like what to do out of the gate,
put it in the comments. Something, because we don't know anything about it. Like we really don't. We're going in blind.
Yep.
But I think that's gonna be fun.
Thing about it. No, I don't even know. I don't even know how you start.
I haven't even watched. I've tried not to even like watch a lot of the flat videos on it of being played and stuff, because I just want to experience it all. I don't want to know too much. But I know. So definitely looking forward to that.
It'd be fun to go in with people too and just look like idiots, not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah, true that. Did you watch any of the Tenacious D concert in the Oculus venues?
I didn't catch it. So we thought it was the night before, thought it was the night before. And I was trying to then, and then I was not around when it was actually on the next night.
We were all prepared the night before.
Here we had to go to. So
yeah. So like I said, I had family in town this weekend, so I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did pop in there for a little bit just because I wanted to see it. And it was pretty cool, the fact that everybody's all together and stuff. And I popped in during the first half, and somebody had mentioned, like, I thought it was really weird. Like, they would do like a cartoon video and then they would go to the live, you know, the feed of them playing the music and stuff. But there was like a screen or a curtain over the stage. And I was like, this is really weird. Like, so, and I guess during the second half of the show, they removed that curtain or that screen so you could see it better. But I just was a little confused, you know, why they did that. It just didn't seem like that was the best choice. But
you're limiting the view in VR, kind of.
Yeah, it was like somebody said you have like a screen door effect over a screen door. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just weird. Yeah. I wasn't sure what was going on with that, but I'm sure it was part of the show or something. I'm not sure. But
well, I mean, like in real life, that's what it would look like on like a, you know, if you go see something, you know, a musical or, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were doing it for the effect of the thing being over it, and I don't know, but
sure, giving it depth maybe.
But it was cool because you were in there with a bunch of people, and I wasn't sure how to meet up with anybody that I actually knew. And, you know, I would just pop in and it would kind of randomly place me, and you can move seats a little bit, but.
So in the settings of venues, that's like the only setting you can go into. You can turn on that it will share your information and your likes under your name.
Yeah.
So you can see what people you have stuff in common with.
But that's just through Facebook. I think that's linked through the Facebook. Yeah.
It is. But you log in through, you know, Facebook is linked to your Oculus and stuff like that as well. But, you know, I don't know if that helps with connecting you with people, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you start a party or you're in a chat, maybe it puts you in together. I don't know either, but maybe there isn't a way.
Yeah, so the only other problem I had is that, you know, you have people sitting around and you can mute people and all that other stuff. But one of the problems I had is that the people in front of me kept standing up. Yeah, so like instead of being seated in their seat, they would stand. So then they're like kind of in front of you, you know, and it's not like completely blocking your view or anything, but it's still kind of enough to be a little bit annoying. So like I could move seats a little bit so that they weren't right in front of me, but it was like, I don't know. It was just kind of weird, but
kind
I mean,
funny though.
Yeah. But I mean, it would be fun if you could get in there with a bunch of people you knew and actually have, you know, like a conversation and stuff. And it was pretty cool. I mean, I think the next one they have is like a WWE, like a wrestling kind of a thing or something.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I went ahead and hit interested. I'm not big into the wrestling or anything, but I still think I just want to still pop in and see what it looks like, see how they have it set up, and see what it is. So I think that's pretty cool. And Jason popped in real quick and said it's $59 for me, no sale. I think he's talking about No Man's Sky, but that is in the description. That's the Green Man Gaming sale. So the link's in the description, and use the code Summer12, I think it was, to get an extra 12% off. So it's not on sale like on Steam or anything like that, but yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah, I wish they in venues it'd be really cool if you had like digital currency in there and you could go to like the popcorn stand or the candy stand and buy it and then throw it at people.
I was gonna say, I feel like this could be bad because people always, you know, in video games or in VR, you're gonna act more a fool than what you would in real life in a theater. You know what I mean? Because you know, in VR, the guy in front of you is not going to turn around and punch you in the face like they might in real life. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it won't hurt as bad. But but yeah, so I mean, I think Oculus, they made you watch like a little video beforehand, you know, telling you the rules and all that stuff. And then if somebody's, you know, being disruptive, you can report them, and they're actively monitoring it, and they'll remove people. So I don't know if they're going to add that stuff. I do think it would be kind of cool. Like, I go back to the Poker Stars where you're able to play with a lot of different things, and that's a lot of fun. But, man, just the disruption factor of what could take place, when you get kids and everything.
But, like, the last time we did, like, our community play in Poker Stars, Greg's VR was in there, and he was saying that that's what all the kids were doing. They would go in and play that game, and then they would just spam the table with, all this junk,
Yeah.
So,
that's the hard part. That's the hard part. How do you moderate some of that?
You just make it, like, so hard to get them, and that's a good goal, because what happens is people have that jealousy factor, like, oh, you have that, now I want that, so I'm going to spend more time in here to earn up more currency to be able to buy that.
So that's true.
It's kind of a a goal-based thing, and not really microtransaction. I mean it should be free inside of that, I would think, but other stuff. I mean, that's what kind of Poker Stars is doing now with all their microtransactions.
Okay, so real quick, Frank said if it's your first purchase on Green Man Gaming, you can use Hello 15 for 15% off. Yeah, and if you've bought there before, then you use the Summer 12 for the 12% off. So if you haven't bought from Green Man Gaming before, I believe, you can use that other code.
So what is it? Nice. What do you use?
Hello 15.
Sure, and I think it's usually all capitals. I think their promos are.
I believe it's all capitals.
Yep. Yeah, I know. VR Mang did a really good write-up on our Discord.
Yeah.
Instructions on like how to get all these extra things, even like an extra $1 off or something.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
A lot of workarounds.
I mean, the discounts.
So also I believe he stayed for that whole concert in Oculus venue. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was the one that talked about the second half being a lot better without the screen. Sure. So if you have any questions, if you didn't, make it, you can ask him on the Discord. I'm sure he'll
that's pretty
talk
cool.
a little bit more about it.
It's too bad I missed that. I did actually want to see that.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I popped in for a little while and kind of checked it out. So just wanted to see what it was all about. But
yeah. So did you see that and I don't think I've never noticed this before, but Mike from VR Oasis, did you see he copied your 180 VR videos? He was shooting in VR.
He copied the video?
No, but he's using a VR camera now.
Oh, yeah.
Like
well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the originator or anything.
No.
But, yeah.
But
I think he went to a...
I wish...
Go ahead.
I just wish so bad I had that camera, because I went to an event last weekend, and with tons of cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And it would have been so cool to have that.
You did take some 360 video, I think. But
I took 360 video, but it's just not the same. Like, even shooting in 5.7... it just doesn't give you the depth.
Yeah, I really do love that camera, and I haven't got to use it anymore yet. But I think Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis, I think he actually went to some classes about shooting VR 180 content. I think that's what actually got him started in that. So I think he's going to do probably some more footage of that. And like Romarcus does a decent amount of stuff with the 180 stuff. And I mean, it's cool. I think I think more people need to do it, really. I think we need to have more of it out there. And I mean, it's still not on like the highest level you can possibly have, with the consumer bot cameras, but it's still a pretty fun experience. It's fun to mess around with. Like, I don't know what I mean, because we got some. I don't know if you've seen the crazy carts before.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Right. So we got some crazy carts this week. Like, we got them a little while ago. We picked some up used, and neither one of them worked right. So we ordered the parts to fix them. I fixed them yesterday, and nice. we were playing around with those in the driveway, and then we got a go-kart and stuff. And I was thinking about maybe doing something with all that. I don't know exactly how well it would translate because of the vibrations. Like if I mount it on the go-kart or the crazy cart or something like that, I don't know how well. So I might play around with it and see what I can do, but it's a lot of fun. The crazy carts are ridiculous. I mean, they spin around so fast.
Yeah. So you need to put the camera on a tripod, like out in the driveway, and then just drift around it.
Just can block around it, yeah.
Yeah, but it would make you so sick in VR though, because you'd just be spinning in circles trying to watch it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how.
That's hard. I know.
Yeah, I don't know what the logistics of that would be yet, but I might play around with it because I haven't used it since the I don't remember the roller coaster thing, and I think I did a setup for the Rift S using it or something like that, but I haven't messed with it since then. It's been too busy, but I love the camera. I can't wait to use it some more. It's a lot of fun.
You need to.
Yeah.
I know. Yep, one I haven't picked up yet, actually. I should.
So Frank said, what kind of resolution can you get with one of those cameras? And the one I have is the Views XR, and that's the one that it'll do 360 or 180, and you can do 5.7K in the 180 video, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks pretty good. And if you have like a Quest or whatever, or even your Rift PC VR headsets, you can watch it on YouTube. Especially, it's easier in the Quest because they have the YouTube app, and it works pretty well. But you can watch it in there, and always make sure you set the quality to the highest, because in those videos, if it's not set to the highest quality when you watch them, it's not that good. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. It's fun.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely a good experience, and now with the higher resolution, it really makes a big difference. It really helps.
So the VR man said, look for mountable gimbals. I don't know how that. You know more about the gimbals than I do, but it's a tall camera. You know what I mean? It's right here.
So they make gimbals for 360 cameras. I'm trying to think of what the ones. There's only about one out there.
Yeah, I don't know how well it will work because of how tall it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they work good. It's kind of works the same as like all my DSLR gimbals and everything. It's the same difference, except it just has a platform where you mount the camera on that's kind of above it.
So maybe I do need to look into that. It does have some built-in software for the motion, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not perfect.
I know. The stuff on mine are butter smooth for my 360. The image stabilization is crazy. Like there's no gimbal needed, which is pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, for yours, I don't know. And for 180, the second you rotate a 180 camera, you're moving the whole visual range. So instead of you being able to free look around and being direction locked, you're kind of forced with where the camera's moving. So I don't know, it'd be tough with a 180 VR camera to start moving them around. But
yeah, I don't know. Maybe something to play with, maybe something to check out. We got to get you down here to Virginia pretty soon, because I think we could do some cool stuff with some VR cameras and stuff like that. So we need to get you down here pretty soon. Hopefully,
I know.
Hopefully before the summer is over, we got to get you down here.
I know.
So
that's true.
And T-Dub actually said, FYI, CD keys, he said if you don't object to them, has No Man's Sky for $14.79 UK. So I don't know much about CD keys exactly. I haven't used them before, but I don't either. I don't know much of their background, but
I don't either. Speaking of T-Dub,
so it's $18.49 on US.
You brought this to my attention, which was awesome. I couldn't believe it because you were like, "Holy crap!" Oh, did you take a picture of it?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Right here.
There you go. So he won second place in Fruit Ninjas, or no, I'm sorry, not Fruit Ninjas, VR.
It is Fruit Ninja, but it's Coin Flip Studios, but it's the people who make Ninja Legends. Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. And he won second place, which is incredible. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep. So they had like I forget what they call them, but basically you had to use these words and make a 3 little sentence haiku. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think it was.
Something like that. So, and we did post this on our Discord to let people know. And so he actually won second place, and that was $50. And that was like a $50 Steam card or something like that, maybe.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool. I thought that was
That's really cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, that's cool. They're doing contests and stuff. They're really working hard at their game. Yeah. They really are.
Yeah, they really are.
Really good to see.
I think
really good guys.
I think that was 2 episodes ago. We had one of the developers from that studio on. That was David, and I think we might try to have him back on next week. He said he has some pretty big announcements he wanted to make, so we are going to try to have him on next week. I don't know. You have a show thing, like car show type thing, you're going to Saturday morning, so it might be a later show or a Friday show. But tune into the Discord. We'll let you know once we know for sure.
Sadly, I have to drive my wife in a parade, and my fear is that it's a clutch car, and you don't drive clutch cars in parades because you burn clutches out.
Yeah, and it's an old car, too.
I'm not really excited about it. Yeah. I'm a little scared I'm going to burn the clutch out of it, but we'll see.
You'll be all right. But, yeah, they are also doing another giveaway, a contest on, I think, on their Twitter. I believe that link is in the description too, and that is for your choice of a Rift S or an Oculus Quest if you win that competition. So I believe that is from
that one.
Yeah, I think you did, and that is from Coin Flip Studios. So check that out. I mean, if you don't have one or the other, you get your choice. If you win that contest, it's worth signing up for. So
yeah, that is cool though. That's awesome. They're doing a lot of places don't do competitions and stuff like that unless you get up into like the VR League stuff, where there's bigger competitions. But that's that's awesome.
So did you hear about the virtual link for the Valve Index? Canceled.
No.
Canceled.
Completely canceled?
Completely canceled it. If you ordered one, if you made a pre-order for a virtual link connector, which is the USB-C connector for the Valve Index, they completely canceled it. They completely canceled it. Why? They gave you a refund, and I believe they gave you like $20 Steam credit or something like that. They just said that they didn't think that the value and stuff, it was really there. I don't know. Yeah. So
that's interesting because you even said you thought you wanted to pick it up.
Yeah, I did. I did want to pick it up because you're eliminating some of the connections. You're able to get it all through that one smaller cable, and we have the newer graphics cards, so we're able to run that. But they said for multiple technical reasons, we no longer believe that the product would deliver that added convenience. Foremost on that list is reliability. Our current testing indicates the VR connection may fail to establish in a reliable manner. Additionally, virtual link technology has not been widely adopted by manufacturers, laptops in particular, where a single connection could be the most beneficial, translating to very few PCs having viable ports for the connection. So it sounds like they just had some issues. Sounds like they were having some issues getting it to work right, be reliable. So maybe they just scrapped it because of that.
But you would have thought they would have known that prior, unless they thought they could work through it before launch, I guess.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Because at launch we had at the pre-order launch we had the ability to order that, and I never did pre-order it because I just figured once it came out I would just order one. I didn't figure that'd be that big of a deal, but so that is canceled.
Yeah, wouldn't that be horrible though if you picked up a headset and were waiting on it still? Oh, thinking you could use it for the Index
for the USB-C cable.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks because I would rather have that smaller connection. You know what I mean? I don't like the 3 connections, but it's not the most terrible thing ever. But so I mean, if you did order one, check your bank account. You're getting a refund, and I believe I can't remember. I believe you're getting like a $10 or $20 Steam credit or something like that too. So it was almost worth ordering and getting that. I mean, at least you're getting that out of it. But
right.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Trying not to make people mad.
Kind of a bummer. I still hope that gets widely adopted, in the future, but I don't know.
Yeah, might not now.
Yeah.
Not if they're not pushing it. I'm waiting to hear stuff for their wireless adapter.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear. Like, come on.
Yeah, I feel like these cords on these headsets are getting heavier and heavier. Like the Rift S cord seems pretty heavy, and it probably has something to do with going to the display port instead of the HDMI. But I mean, like the CV1 cord never really bothered me. It never really seemed like, I mean, obviously it's a cord, so it bothers you, but the weight of it and the thickness and the stiffness of it never really affected me too much, where the Rift S and the Index, they got some pretty hefty cords. I mean, they are...
I know.
They're there. You don't forget.
I mean, I wonder if it's just the power cable, like, being added alone.
Well, I mean, the Rift S doesn't have that, though. Like, the Index has the power cable.
That's
you
what
actually
I'm saying.
have to... You think that's why the Index one is... Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering. It's got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
I don't know either.
I mean, they're pretty beastly cables, so I would. Wireless is definitely. I mean, it's just even using the Quest, that just ability to. I mean, it is so freeing, and I never even. I always thought wireless would be awesome, but it was never a thing that I was like, man, I can't wait for wireless to come out, because the CV1 cord, I was like, it's whatever. But
and the headset wasn't heavy. It was pretty
but
light.
Once you go to wireless with the Quest and stuff, oh man, it's nice. It is very nice.
I couldn't even imagine the day that the Index is completely wireless. Like that would just be
that's gonna be nice. That is gonna be nice.
I don't care if I have to hook a battery pack on my belt. I don't even care. Put it in a pocket.
Fine with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Or on the back of the headset. A lot of people were saying that they've solved, a lot of balancing issues even with the Quest by doing that.
Yeah,
by putting
counterweights or putting a battery bank, or even with the Quest, I would have almost preferred them to put the compute power on the back or on your belt, because that thing is so front heavy. You know what I mean?
I don't know why they're not doing that. Yeah. I don't. We said that even a long time ago about CV1 stuff, and I mean, I don't know why they don't.
Yeah, balance.
I don't know why
more.
It needs to all be right there. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens in the future, but.
And it could be for production purposes, because then you're producing 2 separate units that then have to be combined, in the headset instead of just a cheap strap on it. You know, which, whatever.
So talking about a little bit of innovation, this Kickstarter, I don't quite know how I feel about it. We can show you the video and we can talk about it. Let's do that. Let's show the video and we'll talk about it a little bit, because I have some mixed feelings about it.
Right, sure.
So, I don't know. This is it.
Does that sound?
No, there's no voice. There should just be some music, so we can talk over it.
Sure.
But this is a Kickstarter. I believe the link is in the description if you are interested in this. I think they only have a couple backers so far. But, I mean, in theory, I think it would be a ton of fun. In theory, I think it would be awesome. I think you could totally John Wick it up in some shooters and stuff like that. I think it would be... You could do some really cool stuff with it. The problem is, I'm not putting this thing on every time I want to go into VR. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah, like, hey, honey, I'm gonna go jump in VR. You know, it's gonna take me an hour to get in. Like,
I mean, I already don't feel like I have enough time to play VR and really enjoy some of the games that are out there. I want more time already. So, the fact of the time it takes to put this on is,
Now, I think it would be really cool for like an arcade setup.
That's what I was thinking.
Just because of people, you know, all the fails and stuff that people don't understand their boundaries or running
safety
into
wise.
things.
I mean, safety wise would be pretty big.
I think like that, it's awesome. But I don't know. I think the biggest thing I see from watching this is, could you imagine how tangled your cable would get?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you would spin around endlessly and you wouldn't even know it, you know? I mean, it would just, I mean, I guess it would try and recenter itself because unless it rotates up top, but you would think the bungees would get tangled and that would recenter you.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how they run the cord. I mean, you can see the cord kind of hanging around. But for wireless, though, like once we do get wireless, then that would definitely solve some of that issue. But I think it would be a ton of fun. Like I would love to try it. I would love to do it. You know, I think immersion factor in some games that, you know, you kind of fly, you could, you know, jump down and just kind of feel like you're soaring. And I mean, the moves, I mean, even playing Contractors, you know, I mean, you could literally jump and, you know, dive and do all kinds of crazy moves in your real space that would translate to, you know, your in-game character. But I don't know.
But, you know, it's truly, you know, could you build this on your own? I mean, that's the hard thing, you know, to have this for sale. I feel like you could buy like 3 bungees and a, you know, work harness, and you know, I have harnesses like that for going up on lifts and stuff that are pretty close to that without maybe the D rings where they're at. But I mean, I guess for $2.99 is it worth the hassle? But
and
you gotta anchor it.
Jason said, reminds me of the little hallway baby jumper.
It does too. Yeah, where they bounce.
I mean, I think it would really be fun. Like, I would love to try it. And for home use, I don't know that this is something that I could do for the home space. You know what I mean? But
the best would be if somebody didn't anchor this right into like a joist or something, and they go completely weightless and like face first, and then they just drop. You know, just done. That would be terrible. That would be even better fail than normal.
That'd be terrible.
Because you're committing. That'd be great.
Yeah, but I mean, it is cool. I mean, it's definitely for $2.99. If you are interested, I think they have. Last I looked, maybe 3 backers or so far. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm not sure, but it's a cool idea. I mean, it's kind of Ready Player One-ish in you know, they had like when he was in the van, when Wade or whatever was in the van, and he had basically this kind of a setup, you know, with all the pulleys and the cables and stuff like that. But
It'd be cool to have like that Eagle Flight game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Just dangling completely weightless.
Or even be able to jump off a building and, you know, you stand on a building and you just straight leap off face forward. You know what I mean? Like that would be intense. Like that would, I think that would be awesome. But
maybe Echo Arena where you're, you know, weightless, like flying around.
Yeah, it would translate very well to that, I would think.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
It would be cool. And I think for location-based stuff, this could be something really fun for, you know, something that you go and somebody helps you get in this thing. They set you up. You got a game that is kind of designed around this, or, you know, works very well with the system. I think that could be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty interesting. The home space is a little more tough because not everybody's going to put this on. Not everybody's going to want to anchor this thing in the middle of the room in the ceiling, and you got to have a decent sized play space to fly all around.
I was just going to say that.
I mean, his play space here looks pretty big.
Most people don't have that space to devote. Even if it's in their living room, you're not going to put this.
No, you don't want this mounted in your living room. Most people,
whatever you want to call it.
I mean, if I was a single guy, I'd probably do it, but
well, right, sure, I get it, right, but I don't know. It's going to be tough, that's for sure. But it looks like it'd be fun to try, but I don't know. I don't see it being my go-to. Like I need to have it. What are you laughing at now?
Just some of the comments are pretty funny.
I know I'm sure it's what I'm thinking. I probably shouldn't even look, but
it's pretty good.
I know, it's pretty bad. I'm sure there's some other VR applications you could use this for.
That's kind of what I think. That's kind of what Gamertag VR was getting at.
Horrible. Like the first time I saw this, it's like, that's going to be the use, I'm sure. But
it is cool. I mean, I could see it having its use cases in certain areas, certain locations, but just probably not inside the house. But It's cool.
Not for me.
It would be cool. I would love to jump off a building and physically. The problem is if you get too used to playing with that, and then you play that same game without that, and you jump off the building in the same way, it's not going to end very well.
True. That's true. That would be funny though. Oh man, that's bad.
Jason said, "Hey, Dad," foot to the face. Like, what if somebody walks in the room and you're literally like ninja kicking that direction? Oh boy,
like
this could be
jump
bad.
and like Superman punch somebody.
Yeah. Could be a whole new level to the VR fail videos. That's
and
for
you
sure.
would just think you hit somebody in VR, like, man, this feels really good.
This is getting better and better. They're even laying on the floor making noises. I can hear them.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's incredible.
That's good stuff. Fun stuff. So we've talked a lot. I mean, if you watched our videos and stuff, we've talked a lot about Holoception through the episodes and did some videos on there. Great bunch of guys. We really like talking to them, and I feel like their sense of humor is pretty much on the same page as us. And they
this would be awesome if you could be the little guy in this, or like dangling.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. That would be fun.
Oh, it would be funny.
Huh, that would be interesting, actually.
But yeah, these devs, the Holonautic devs, they're super open to, like, if people say stuff in their like community, like they're way open to trying things and ideas and
they
stuff.
Love the ideas.
Really cool.
They're kind of pushing the envelope in a sense of a whole different kind of an idea of a VR game, but they got a couple new trailers. They sent us over some stuff this morning that they said we could show everybody that's kind of cool and pretty funny. And first I'm going to show the new, I think this is the new trailer or one of their new teaser trailers or something. So this is the new one. So I'm going to let this play, and this is pretty cool. And the music that goes to it fits it pretty well. So if you haven't seen this, definitely watch some of our other videos. And I think you put the link to their Discord in the description as well.
I think I did, yeah. I think I did both. That's really cool. I haven't seen that yet.
I actually haven't been in this game in a little while. I need to get in there. They did send me a code so I can play it on the index, and I have not had a chance yet, which I really need to do.
Yeah, I've played it on the index for sure.
And it plays well on the index, right? It translates pretty well on the index.
Yeah, no different. Same controls as touch, basically. Yeah.
The park. I love the park.
Oh,
I love the colors they're adding in. You know what I mean? Like it's
I know. They just tweeted a picture of it and it looks so good.
I love how it's a super serious music and then it just goes to ridiculousness. I love it.
Oh man.
And then back to super serious.
So ridiculous. I love it.
I love the humor of this, though.
And you can tell they're just having fun playing it, too.
That's what we did. I remember the first time I popped in this game, and we talked about it before. Like, the first time I went in, I was like, I'm just going to pop in. I got like 5-10 minutes. I just want to see what it's all about. And I didn't want to quit. Like, I was just cracking up like a little girl, like just laughing like crazy, like a little kid. You know what I mean? Like, it just like, makes you giddy. It makes you giddy.
Well, it took a minute for the controls to like click with me because it's totally different than anything else. And then the second, like, I figured it out, it was just like, oh, yeah.
It's so awesome. It's seriously a ton of fun. And they did say that the release date has gotten pushed back a little bit. So, oh, there you go. There's your favorite thing. So they also are going to be doing some first person. So I think this was one of the community things that they asked for. And I love the third person aspect. Like, I love the kind of puppet. I don't know. It's hard to explain until you really get in there and try it, but I love that aspect. So, but I am curious to see what the first person feels like as well.
I know. I think it just gives it a whole different gameplay as well. You know, you have the third and you have the first. So I think it makes for a totally different experience then for both.
Right. So there's like first person. I'm all about games that give you options, in all honesty. Like let people play how they like to play it. You know, if somebody prefers to play it in first person or you want to go back and forth, you know what I mean? Like let them do it. Why not? You know?
I mean, VR is that way. You play stuff how you want to play it. You know, you're not just pushing buttons, you're interacting. So everyone's play style is going to be different. Everyone's thought of it's going to be different.
Yep. So first person is going to be pretty cool. I have not tried the first person, and I think that'll be cool. But I love
all the options they've added.
Yeah, like, this is going to be an awesome game. And it did get pushed back a little bit, but I'm okay with it because I know these guys are working super hard at this game. Like
they're not pushing it back because they're not doing something. Right. They're just doing more.
They just want to. They're just making it better and better and better, and they just want to keep doing that. And I'm fine with that. Like that works for me. Cup?
No, that one's not. No. That's
So that is showing a little bit of the first person mode. And we can show a little bit of what they sent us this morning. And that would be this.
I can't even. I can't even take this seriously.
It's so funny.
It's amazing.
I love it.
It's so awesome.
You got the cat paws, the cat nose on your face.
Oh my gosh, I just
cracks me up. Look at him scratching the
nose?
Unicorn slippers.
I don't even think you noticed the unicorn slippers the first time.
I know. Well, I saw a different video with the unicorn slippers, and it's so awesome. He's just pawing at things. This game, I swear, I love their sense of humor. I love their sense of humor. It's so awesome. It doesn't get any better than the cat paws and the unicorn slippers. Like,
I don't know what might get better than that.
They got a lot of really good ideas.
I know.
How you gonna squeak your duck? Oh, there you go. You guys squeak it in both hands.
Can we please show them the cat fights?
We'll get there. We'll get there. You're getting ahead of me.
On.
You're getting ahead of me. Okay. So the next one. Here you go. Here's the coffee cups. Here's the coffee cups. And I do believe our coffee cup is on the table. I do believe it is on there. I believe it's the one on the far left. They got the rendered reality coffee mug, which my light blinds this thing out, but I don't know
how. Break ours. Don't.
Oh, they wouldn't break ours. They said they wouldn't break ours. Oh, come on.
Not nice. Man.
So awesome. So you want the cat fights. You want the cat fights. So this is the
we need
cat.
to send them a coffee cup.
Yeah, we do, for real. So this is the cat fights. Where he's just pawing. I can't take it. It's too funny. Oh, man. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, my gosh. I can't take the ears, too.
Yeah. So I wonder if that makes you go faster. When they were doing that with their hands, it looked like it ran faster.
I don't know.
Like the cat speed mode or something.
Cat-like speed reflexes, man. It's awesome.
So this is pretty hilarious. I'm looking forward to trying
I just can't take it.
And I will definitely wear the unicorn slippers.
The grass looks so good, like for the park and stuff.
Oh, no. I love the colors and stuff that they're putting in the park.
I know.
It looks so awesome. So this game is still coming. It is definitely still coming, so keep an eye out. And follow the Discord, because they put out a lot of this kind of stuff on their Discord, a lot of
they do.
Clips, and you can give your ideas, and they'll they give a lot of feedback and everything else. So
yeah, they definitely keep everybody up to date too, with what they're working on, or release dates, or builds, or anything.
They're very active on their Discord. So
yeah, yeah, it does look like you're.
I think it does.
Right.
I think it does.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
Good
stuff.
I know. I just want some multiplayer in that too.
Yeah,
because to do that kind of stuff with somebody else would just be hilarious.
This is some colors and stuff of the park stuff they're working on.
I know.
So, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's crazy. I know.
Good looking stuff. So
is that the one that was on Twitter?
I believe so. I believe that was on their Twitter and on their Discord. So.
Oh my god. I know.
So Shiny Robot said, I wonder how No Man's Sky performance will be in VR. And we did talk a little bit that towards the beginning, I think, or somewhere. We've kind of talked. We keep going back to No Man's Sky a lot on this episode. It's hard not to talk about it with the release date news, and just everybody's excited for that.
Oh, I know.
So, but yeah, good stuff for sure. Can't wait.
I love it.
Pretty awesome. So what else you want to try to get into on... So we did get some price leaks about the Cosmos. They've put out a couple more videos of some comfort videos and some other random things. And supposedly the price leak is saying $850 US. That's not confirmed or anything, but that would coincide with what MRTV said about the leaks that he had about, I think it was a $900 release date. And they, commented and said that's not true. It will be under $900. So $850 would be under $900. I feel like that's still...
I think it would be hilariously amazing if that's what it was, like $1 under or whatever.
What if they made it $8.99?
Yeah,
$1 under what he said. Yeah, that would be funny. So I feel like an $850 price point is probably what we're gonna see. I mean, pretty close to that. I think that it's probably pretty accurate of a leak, but I mean that's hard still. I don't know. Do you go a little bit more and get the index, or do you go half price and get a Rift S? It's still it's a hard.
I know what I would do.
Yeah.
But I know. Yeah, it is tough. Do you hear about the wireless from Viveport? What they're trying to implement, and it's probably going to drop I mean, officially when the Cosmos comes out, I would assume.
Yeah, you're talking about the 5 gigahertz stuff, and they did show some of that at one of the trade shows, one of the shows, and the people that had tried it there said it wasn't quite there yet. Like they had a 5 gig router in there, and they said it just wasn't quite there yet. But that was like towards the beginning of the year, so I'm sure they've made a decent amount of progress now.
That would be hard there too. I feel like if you're not in a place where you just have one network, you know, and nothing else, you know, messing with it, I feel like that would be a tough thing in itself. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I mean, and we know it's going there. I mean, I know NVIDIA's working on it and stuff pretty hard.
I mean, we've done it with we did it with on the Quest, you know, with virtual desktop.
Yep.
I mean, it was playable, and it depended on your network and your router and everything else. And a lot of people had really good experiences with it, and some people had some not so good experiences. My experience was mediocre. Not good enough to play competitively Contractors, but good enough to play things like Invisible Hours and stuff like that. And it worked pretty well. And I haven't been back in. I know they've made more updates and stuff in that virtual desktop side-loaded version.
And I guess with this one, it's only going to work with, I think, the Vive Focus Plus or whichever it is. There's too many names for all these now.
Yeah.
And I think that's only going to be the one it works with. And it's supposed to be in Q4. So it should be coming soon. I would just guess it's probably going to be when they drop Cosmos as well, because it may run some type of the same thing. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, maybe not run it, but
I mean, I think we all know the future is wireless. You know, is that going to be wirelessly streamed from your PC? Is that going to be wirelessly streamed from a cloud server? I mean, who knows? But it's going to get there. I mean, it's definitely going to get there. And even Quest, I mean, Quest 2, I can imagine is going to be a pretty killer headset, just seeing what they've done with the first Quest. I mean, it's impressive. So, and I did get my VR cover, the updated VR cover. This is one of the things here, but
you don't even have it on yet.
No, I do. That's right here. That's the extra one that
that's
they sent you.
One. That's the thick one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the updated version where it is very stiff and it does not pop out at the bottom. It takes some force to get it out. So it's definitely, this with the Franken Quest is a very, very comfortable combination. It is a little bit different. This is the VR cover from the CV1. And then the material is definitely a little bit different. Like the CV1 is kind of like a perforated, kind of a leather kind of a feel. I do find the CV1, I prefer it a little bit more still over the updated one for the Quest. And it's pretty thick.
Sure.
It's a pretty thick, and I mean, it's comfortable, but one thing a lot of people are doing right now is they're, you know, and we've known this, you know, the closer you can get your eyes to the screens, the wider field of view. So a lot of people are completely taking off the facial interface on their Quest and putting like thinner padding to get a bigger field of view and stuff. Right. So yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to have somebody come out with an official cover that increases your field of view quite a bit. That's still decently comfortable, you know what I mean? But I like it. I mean, as far as comfort goes, for me, I mean, the Quest is super comfortable. That deluxe audio strap and that VR cover, I mean, I can play the Quest for hours, no problem. No problem at all.
And they're I think $19. I was just looking. Yeah, $19.
What's that, the VR cover?
Oh, no, that's the
I think the full kit is like 30 something. Yeah, I think that's just the cover.
That's the fabric one. Yeah, you're right.
And we still don't have a release date for the Rift S VR cover, because I'm very interested in a Rift S VR cover too. The factory one isn't bad, but it's still, you know, it's just like the foam, and it's
right.
I mean, I prefer that one much. I much prefer that one over the Quest facial interface, the stock one. I find the Quest facial interface pretty itchy, and I just never found it very comfortable for me. It's just not very soft on your face, which the Rift S is comfortable, but.
So they did just release the fabric cover, for the from VR cover for the Index as well.
Right. That's the fabric one,
the fabric cover, right. But see, I find the Index pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, and
on our Discord, find a need for a new one.
On our Discord, some people were showing they were getting their shipments in from Valve for the replacement facial interfaces and stuff for the Index. I mean, I don't really have a complaint about the facial interface on the Index. I think it's
the only thing that was funny was they said, you know, the Index was packaged like premium, and the covers were coming like just a random box with like some stuff in it.
There wasn't even packaging for the covers. I don't think they were just like thrown in the box and then shipped. Like there was no, it was just like they grabbed them off the shelf, threw them in a box, and shipped them to you. It's like
not even in a bag, like not even an individual bag.
There was no presentation when it came to those VR covers. So DLG27 asked if I can wear my glasses with the VR cover in Quest, and I haven't actually tried because I have the prescription lens inserts. So I have not actually tried, and these are, I love those. I love the prescription lens inserts because it's just so much easier just to slip it on. So I actually have not tried. I believe the second one that they send you is a little bit thicker, so you may have better luck with that one with your glasses, but I haven't tried because I put the lens adapters in there, and that's just what I run.
I don't think I have either. I don't think I've tried with glasses on. You know, I did. When the Tenacious D thing was on, and we thought it was on the night before.
I actually don't have those in there right now. I just realized I popped them back out because I had family members trying it out. So I popped them back out for them. But usually that's what I have in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I tried to slip my glasses on. It depends on how wide I think they are for me, what seemed to be the issue. Because I do have the cover on mine. And it would go in, but I didn't really fully put it on because I just kept looking into it to like see,
I think he was
where
saying
the
that
event was starting.
It felt too close.
Maybe.
Like his glasses were probably touching the lenses. But
right.
I highly suggest getting some prescription lens adapters. They make a big difference.
I do too.
They pop in and out real easy.
The headset,
yeah.
Oh, they're so nice.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Pop right off too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you
they
pop
really
them.
do,
I just pop them out when somebody else is using them. I pop them back in, when it's just me, which usually it's just me, but sometimes, especially with the Quest, a lot more people try that. You know what I mean? Like I had, they were playing Box VR the other night, and I do want to get them in Richie's playing experience too. I got to grab a 2x6 out in the shed or something and bring that in. But
are they still there?
Yeah, they're here till I think Monday. Yeah,
you need to have them try it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna get them in there. They did try some stuff the other night, but we didn't get Richie's playing experience out. I didn't have the board, and it was kind of getting late. But yeah, they will definitely try it. And they enjoyed the Box VR, and I can't remember what else they. Her nephew played Angry Birds. He played that for a while. He really liked Angry Birds.
Oh yeah.
So
which they're working on a second one actually.
Yeah, they're working on something
for the movie.
For the new movie coming out.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah. I'm drinking coffee. See, Doe Worf from Sparker's drinking coffee. Nobody, we haven't actually seen any mugshots.
Yeah, we haven't. Really, last couple episodes we haven't had any new mugshots. Nobody's putting any new mugshots up in a while.
I know.
So definitely, we haven't been talking about it either.
The CV1 coffee maker. That was pretty.
I think that was Greg's VR. Yeah, there was a coffee maker that was called the CV1. That's what it said on there. That was pretty awesome.
That was awesome.
And
that was cool though.
R. Grambo says the glare and the controller click issue had me passing on my Valve pre-order. And Steam actually did an update. They did a firmware update that addresses the index controller click issue. And basically what they're doing is they're bypassing it by, recognizing the stick is fully forward as being clicked unless it's, game dependent where they're setting it up themselves. But
interesting.
That is a firmware update that Steam VR is pushing out. I don't know if that's completely out yet or if it's still coming.
Yeah.
But that is basically, I think they're choosing that direction instead of sending out replacements for all these controllers.
Well, that's a lot easier. That's a lot cheaper on their end.
I would prefer my controller to just work properly. I would prefer to click if I wanted to. But at the same time, I don't like having to click to run in games. Like in playing Contractors, you can select, auto sprint, where basically if you push the stick all the way forward, you're in sprint. If you don't push it all the way forward, you slow down your movement speed. And I prefer that layout, but I still want my $1,000 index kit to have controllers that click.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
Right. It should be right. It's a premium headset. You should get premium quality results.
But I would prefer to just be able to push the stick all the way forward and sprint and pull it.
Sure.
Don't push it forward if you want to walk. Don't push it all the way forward. You know what I mean? So I do prefer that layout, and hopefully more games will just go to that control scheme because I don't want to have to click it. But
it can just be speed increasing the farther percentage forward you are.
Exactly. I think that's what they're doing in this update. And if you ask me, that's what it should be in every game, anyways. I prefer that.
Right.
But yeah,
I agree.
But I still think they need to address the issue that they put out controllers that are supposed to click and they don't. So.
Yep. Have you thought about fixing yours or addressing it? I thought about it.
I haven't done anything with it yet. I know there are definitely some fixes, and there's some ones that are easier, ones that are a little bit more intrusive, but.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of waiting around. I haven't messed around with them yet, and
it doesn't really drive me that nuts anymore.
It doesn't really drive me crazy. It's just annoying to spend that much money, and it should be right. It should just be right. But
yep. Oh, Dell was asking, how do we put up a mugshot? Join our Discord, and inside the Discord there is a channel called Mugshots.
Yep.
And who was it that came up with that name?
That was T-Dub. I believe that was T-Dub. When we first came up with that idea, we were talking about people giving or putting up their coffee mugs or whatever they're doing coffee-wise, And he said, we were like, what should we call that? And I think it was T-Dub that said we should call it mug shots. And I was like, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Yeah, but any pictures of you guys drinking coffee with us, drink coffee in the morning, shoot us a pic.
Yeah, anything you want.
We'll throw them up on here.
Yeah, usually what we do is we show on our Coffee and VR show, we show, we scroll through all the pictures that have been uploaded, the past couple weeks. And we haven't had any new ones, so we haven't done that the last couple episodes, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the last 2 episodes, we really only had a couple, which we're kind of saving them up.
Right. Yeah.
We just don't like to throw 1 or 2 on. We'll throw a couple, but yeah. Yep. We've always got our coffee. I'm polishing mine off quick this morning too, man. What are you drinking, by the way?
I am drinking Pete's. Yep. So I had last couple episodes, I think I had Pete's Big Bang, and this is back to the Major Dickinson blend, which I am a huge fan of. Love Pete's.
So I haven't looked yet, but I need to buy a coffee maker. I think I talked about it last week. Maybe it just happened. I just haven't had time to find one. But what I want one where you can put the grinds in the top, and it grinds it for you.
Like put the beans in?
Put the beans in to grind it.
Yeah.
I just want it fresh like that. And I don't really know, what's a good brand, what stuff's out there. I've really only ever bought just a regular pot coffee maker.
Me too. I know you talked about one that you found that was like a $2,000 coffee maker.
3,000.
3,000. Yeah, that's just crazy.
2,999.
That's crazy you could have 3 indexes. Yeah. Is the coffee really going to be that much
coffee.
better? I mean, I'm sure it would be good, but man, that's a lot of money to spend on a coffee maker. Well, you better put that in a mugshot on Discord if you buy a $3,000 coffee maker.
No, I don't know I don't really know what's out there. Like I've looked at some stuff, but there's so much, and there's stuff from like other countries that other brands that I've never even heard of. So
yeah,
it's kind of a new realm for me. Like I like good coffee, but I don't know about the makers. So
yeah.
And like I'd like to even just do like pour over coffee, because that's everyone loves that.
Yeah.
So
I love the French press. That's one of my
French press, anything like that. So
French press is cheap too.
I just haven't gotten into it, so now I need to. It's my one chance.
It's time. It's time for a new coffee maker.
Yep. Yeah. So if you guys do know one, have one. Comment it, please, because I'll look it up later. Yeah.
True that.
What are you looking up? Are you reading chat again?
Me right now. I'm reading my notes. See what else we want to talk about.
I wondered. You get lost in chat sometimes. Yeah. It's so hard.
Paradise Decay is joining us a little bit late today.
Well, let's see. He's in a little different time zone, so that's hard.
I don't know if it's late for him or early for him. I'm not sure. I think it's late.
It was late. Yeah, later. So. Yep. He's probably getting ready to go out, man. We're gonna go out with him one time.
Yeah,
he's into some good music. We were talking about music. Did you see that?
On the Discord, I did.
On our Discord, yeah. Yep. Which there was a really cool one, and let's see, what's his name? He's changed it now. I think it was like
Elevidity or Elevated.
Yeah, Elevidity. I can't ever say it right.
I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
But he has a new channel with where they're putting out music, and he's going like funky house kind of style basically, and doing like an 1.5 hour live stream. Well, not live stream, but a produced video. And I watched a good while of it. It's really good stuff. So we started talking music, and I put my playlist on there and stuff from Amazon, and kind of talking music, but stuff you don't really get into. I know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good stuff.
I get into the harder electronic stuff a lot of times.
Oh, yeah. You do. You show me some crazy stuff sometimes when I'm back there in Ohio.
I know. Hey, you love Centipede.
Oh yeah.
Look,
mainly because that song is hilarious. Yeah, Knife Party Centipede. Mainly because it's funny, but
it's that drop, man. You love it.
I do like it.
I know.
True that.
So we are hopefully going to get into Crunch Element here soon as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I'm really excited to see. I just like the look of that game, and it's going to check all the boxes for me. I think. I don't know. I mean, I'm not certain on it. I haven't seen it yet, but I think they're going to have it a playable build this week sometime. So hopefully I get to see that, which I'm excited for. That looks really good.
Are we going to be able to put out a video on that, or are they still under
embargo or anything? I haven't
we'll have to find that out. Yet, so. And I think we also actually had a clip of, was that Neon? What was the one, Neon Exile or something that had the multiplayer, the PvP? Is that the one that had a PvP?
So they're working. Well, it's kind of like MMO. It is an
MMO.
Which is really cool because they're going to have buildable, climbable objects, stuff like that, and it's still very, very early.
Yeah.
It's still a work in progress, early access deal.
We have a clip of the PvP that they put out.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see if I can find that. There it is. So we talked about a little bit about this last week, I believe, and we showed the main trailer for the game. I believe it was last week.
Yeah.
But this is their PvP trailer. The flying around and grabbing though, like it looks pretty fun.
I know, it does.
You'll be able to fly across, grab something, and duck around it for cover.
And it looks pretty big. I mean, you can see. I don't know if this is all stuff that is pre-built or was built, by them. But it does. It looks. I mean, and it's early again, and they want that to be known too. But it is a work in progress, and they have their actual. Why can't I think of it? Their goals and stuff. They're on Trello. Their
roadmap.
Yeah, the roadmap. There you go. And they have it all listed on there, and they're working on a lot. I mean, they have some pretty good goals and stuff that look like it'll be pretty fun. And I'm totally good with any MMO. I just like the social aspect of it. I mean, just the people and stuff.
Right.
I think that's my favorite part. And just being able to build stuff and do all that. We don't have a ton of that in VR. We really don't. I mean, do we really have any like sandbox buildable style games?
I mean, the one that we played the most was that what was the port from a flat game to the one we
Forest?
Yeah, the Forest. So
yeah,
I mean that in a sense you can build a lot in that, and we've spent a decent amount of time in that game.
But that's not as much like a shooter, it's more of an exploring, scavenging game, survival game than it is. But yeah, it looks. I mean, it is. Again, it's early access.
Right. This is early footage.
But yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot. Yeah. I mean, they're trying.
Yeah.
It looks good. I'm excited to get into it, which actually I hope is pretty soon. Sounds like. And then maybe I can give a little bit more feedback on it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But it does. It looks really good. It looks like a lot of fun.
There's a lot of good stuff coming up. A lot of good stuff coming up.
I know. Yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. But
I know. Let me see.
What are you looking for?
Oh, Starblazer was the other one.
Yeah.
They're trying to implement multiplayer into this, which it's more like a tabletop style game, like a it's not turn based. I'm trying to think what that's actually technically called. Like Age of Empires, or where you have fleets and you're attacking somebody else.
Right.
But to have that now in multiplayer, and again, that's an early access game. That looks like a lot of fun too. Just to be able to control these little things. I like those, like not turn-based, but controlling fleets and stuff like that.
Have you been in this? Have you been in this yet? Because they did send us keys, I believe. Yet. I don't think we've gotten in. I haven't yet.
I have not had the time. I know.
We do have a trailer for it, but
yeah, but it does look like it's going to play really well, and it's again early access, So but this quality-wise, where they're at with it looks really good, and they have customizations with changing ship colors and everything to personalize it. And like you can actually build vehicles while you're playing and stuff, which is cool. I love that. So it does look like a lot of fun. It really does.
It's got some potential for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. It reminds me a lot of like Age of Empires, which I played the crap out of, which was I loved that.
Yeah.
Which gives me the same feeling. But then to play it in VR and see it in front of you is just a whole different, level.
For sure. And so we will definitely have to get into this one. We haven't got in yet. We do have the keys. We just need the time. So,
that multiplayer, man. Ooh, that one-on-one. That would be fun in this.
Is the multiplayer live in the build that we have right now?
It's
close.
No,
so it's not live yet. Okay. I got you.
No. Nope, it's close. But yeah, it does. It looks really fun. Like the range, like you can have snipers, like ships that can shoot from far away, and ones that the fighters which attack up close. You have like big ships you have to protect. You have the one big one that actually you can produce other vehicles while you're, fighting and stuff. But it looks fun. It looks really cool.
It does look cool.
And their maps are getting way better too.
So you're basically controlling the ship from the outside.
Yes,
right?
You're telling which ship what to do. Like this ship attack that. This ship attack that.
Yeah.
While the other player is doing the same thing. Or the AI right now, but it will be multiplayer. And I just think that's really cool. I think that's a lot of fun.
And this is
it's kind of a casual, but not. It's pretty intense at the same time.
Right. And this is a 1v1, correct?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it is. Yeah, I haven't heard any plans to do anything different.
Yeah.
I mean, typically stuff like this, it's all 1v1, but yeah, it does.
Yeah,
these maps and stuff look really a lot better than like some of the original maps. Those look cool.
Yeah, I think we have a link to their website or something in the
I can check
the Discord. Maybe we'll add that. I can't remember what all.
It is. It's their Steam page, actually.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Yep. So it does. It seems to help the developers if you are interested in something and you add it to your wish list. They always ask that you add it to your wish list because it just kind of gives them, I think, a better idea of who's all interested in the game and the scope of things for the future for them. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It does. I'm actually really excited. Yeah, it does. That looks like a lot of fun. And I'm not a huge like turn-based fan, but some games where you can like be building stuff, you're worrying about so many things. I do really get involved in it.
And even still, like any of the different kind of genre of games, you always have to try it in VR too, because even if you're not into it in a flat gaming world,
I know
VR can make a big difference. Like even the third person stuff, like I never thought third person in VR would ever do anything for me until I really tried Holoception. I know there's a lot of other games that are really good third person games too, but for me, it just, I don't know. It's just VR translates things so much differently than a flat game. So just because you don't like something in a flat game world doesn't mean you're not going to like it in VR. It's just so much. It's just such a different world. But
like driving games, like people could care less about a rally game or a rally in real life or on screen. But the second you're in it and you hear the gravel flying up and the trees going past you, it's just it's a totally new experience.
You might want to, cool. if you're just watching the show and you're not watching the chat, you might want to keep an eye on chat. Some people are throwing some things in there. Jason's hooking some people up again in chat, so keep an eye on that.
Man, that's that one I'm going to get in this weekend, man. I got to get in there.
I know.
Before No Man's Sky comes out, too, for sure.
Yeah, we got to get in
I think he's working on that index push, which I need.
Yeah.
That's, must.
He's working on so much good stuff. That was, Jason was the one we were in chatting with for a while. This past week, I think it was, and
I was on for another 2 hours.
Yeah, I had to go to bed. It was a weekday, it was midnight, and I was like, I gotta go. Like it's getting late. I gotta get to bed. I gotta go work in the next morning. And Tyler was on there for like an hour and a half past what. But it was just so much good information he was giving us about the stuff he's working on, the ideas that he has. So we're definitely gonna have him on the show once he's ready and once the game gets closer and we can get some more footage for you guys. But the game is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard of it, it's Day to Night.
Yep.
And it's basically a zombie survival-ish type game with scavenging and trying to find weapons and multiplayer, the whole bit.
Yep.
And man, the stuff he's doing, he's trying to even do individual, I don't want to call it mini games, but stuff inside of that then to do. Yeah. And I told him, I'm like, can you please, because in this one video he had grass back there. I'm like, can you please have a mower there? And then you jump on the mower and your goal is to mow the grass. But when you start the mower, all the zombies hear it and they just come running for you,
That's
So
awesome.
It's
that must have been after I got off. I didn't hear that one, so that's awesome.
But how amazing would that be to be sitting on a mower, trying to mow grass, shooting zombies, running at you?
Yep. So he did throw a key in the chat if you were watching, and that is, it's still an early build. It's not a finished product or anything yet, but he is. But he gave out some keys last time too.
This next build though should be pretty spot on, pretty polished. They're gonna have their AI all worked out. It seems like.
Yeah, he said he's got a lot of the AI issues he was having worked out and smoothed out.
Yeah, which I still haven't heard from him. I'm waiting on the second he tells me that it's live.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I know he said he likes to push them out on Thursday evenings, which he didn't tell me he did. So I'm assuming, it didn't get pushed out.
Maybe this next week.
He's gonna have to hurry, man.
It's gonna be a good one. It is gonna be a good game though. Once that is fully, I think he's shooting for a release later this year. Is that right? I think that's what he told us. Don't know if that's going to happen for sure yet, but I think his plan is for a release later this year, but I don't know. We'll keep you updated because it's going to be good. And we will definitely, like I said, have him on the show. Sure. He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, he knows his stuff too.
Yeah, he's
doing a lot of really cool things with lighting and stuff.
He really pushes the envelope. He said when we were talking to him the other night, and I don't want to give away too much from when we do have him on the show, but that the things people were saying, that in VR, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this. He's like, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? He really likes to push the envelope of what's possible in VR, and that's what we need. We need that innovation still. So.
And he's working on the core stuff that matters in VR first.
Yeah.
And that's what's awesome.
And performance optimizations. He's not waiting to, a lot of people will build a whole game. They get to the end and then they realize they got to cut all the fat. You know what I mean? You got to cut all the fat off and you got to get the game to work right. But he is focusing on making it play smooth and run smooth as he's building instead of waiting till the end. And that's a lot of times what pushes things back is that people realize they get to the end of their build, you know what I mean? And they're realizing, this isn't running real well. We're having a lot of issues or, you know what I mean? You got to go back through it and it's just too much work at that point in time.
Well, and I think he said he's running everything on a 1050 too. making sure everything runs butter on a 1050. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. He could correct me if I'm wrong.
So he said, I think he's planning on early access release later this year. So not full release, early access release later this year. So
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is awesome. Yeah, it does. It's really cool. His day-night cycles and everything look really good. He's got like character interactions now, like NPCs and stuff at stations. And I'm just, you guys need to check it out.
And if you're on our Discord too, he posts some stuff on there that he's working on every once in a while. The masks and stuff that he had, and some character animations.
There's two of those that are supposed to be in this next build too. So I can't wait to see those. That's pretty cool. So. I know we all need to get in there together. I know he keeps saying, just the second it's out, he'll be in. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated, but I think that's
now somebody else is too. Somebody else now in chat's getting.
Yeah. So I think he gave out 2 keys last time. I think he gave out 1 this time. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he's running on a 1050 Ti.
Yep. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I know.
Yeah.
The whole thing's running on that. That's awesome.
Yep. And so we are talking about Data Night. Shiny Robot asked what game we were talking about. That is Data Night. It is a game that is in production now. It's not fully fleshed out.
I don't
Hopefully
think I have it
released
in the description of this, but I guess we always end up winding back talking about it just because I know I'm excited, and these updates are huge. They're good updates, you know. And it's crazy. He actually takes all his influence for what he's focusing on from these beta tests. So going in and playing with people, they just kind of see what works. He's just feeling it out. So, he opens the game up to these people and he's like, okay, I want to see what you guys like, what you play with, what you don't like. Right. And then he's like, or thinks it's a great idea and it's not. It doesn't work. So he abandons it and focuses on what people do like, which is awesome.
Yep.
It's just going to build a great VR game for that purpose alone. So
I'm excited for it. It is going to be awesome for sure.
I know.
So just the stuff the ideas and stuff that he has, the things he was talking about the other night, it's going to be awesome. So I think that's really pretty much all we got for today, though. We had to kind of get off topic a little bit every once in a while. We got our notes. Sometimes we do good staying on topic, but it's fun to just talk about whatever VR. I mean, truly that's what we're passionate about. We just love VR. We love talking about it. And if we didn't do this show, we would just sit here and talk to each other about all this stuff anyway. So it's a lot more fun to just get everybody else involved, get the chat involved, and definitely make sure.
If you guys have any other questions that we didn't answer, you want to hear, find us on our Discord. It is in the description. Just drop a question in there. If you guys want us to talk about something on the show, you guys find out something cool you want us to, look into for you, let us know. You're a developer, same thing. Let us know. We'll hit it up. Yeah.
We like a lot of the smaller developers. We like kind of teaming up with them a little bit and talking about what they have going on and kind of sharing it with the community a little bit more. Because for some of the smaller devs, it's hard to get a little bit of exposure and it's hard to spread the word about your game coming up. A lot of times they want beta testers. They want people to get in there and test it out for them and, tell them what works, what doesn't work. So we try to do that. So if you are a smaller developer, reach out to us. We have an email in our video description. You can reach out to us and share what you're working on or whatever, and we can try to talk about that. So next weekend, like I said, follow Discord. We will keep you updated on exactly when we will go live. We probably will have a guest on for a little bit on the show with some updates and some things that they want to announce on the show. We don't even know what that is. I have no idea what that even is at this point. I don't know, but so we'll find out together.
Maybe Friday. Maybe we'll hit a Friday show.
I was thinking either Friday night or Saturday evening. I'm not sure.
We did a Friday show. That was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, we did a Friday.
Because everyone was like, "Holy crap! We didn't expect to have this on a Friday. It's awesome, which was kind of cool. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. We were having I think YouTube was having some issues that weekend. Yeah, that's right. Google or something. It was the stream was kind of messed up. So hopefully we didn't have any issues this time. Nobody said anything. So, Peter DeClearmaker, thanks for subscribing. He just subscribed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty awesome. So.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't think it was on our end. I heard a lot of others were too. So.
Yeah, so hopefully we didn't change anything. So hopefully it works out this time. And we are still keep an eye out for hopefully a Mammut video. We did get the gun stock, and Tyler's actually figured out some issues. I saw some people on the Valve Index forums which had the same issues with it that Tyler was having at first, and he's actually solved a lot of those issues. Yeah. So we'll need to get something out there to help some people out.
It's hard, and actually I have one of them sitting here, but because of the offset where the mount is for the gun stock, it's offset to the one side of the controller. So then the other one is offset the other direction. So your actually controllers aren't lined up with the stock. They're actually, a couple inches to one, a couple inches to the other. Yeah. So it creates an odd angle with the gun stock. So that was a little bit of an issue with me getting it set up at first. Now I'm
seems like a lot of people are having that issue. I saw a whole discussion on Reddit about people weren't very happy with it because they couldn't figure out how to get the gun lined up with the gun stock. And so,
yeah, and it's crazy. It's actually not that bad to fix. You just have to ignore the gun stock itself and just pay attention to more where your controllers are and line those up with the actual butt of the gun or butt of the stock where your cheek and shoulder rest are. And then, roll that over to the side a little, and it seems to work great for me. So it's just a weird angle to look at. It just doesn't seem right.
If you look at the physical gun stock, it doesn't make sense. But once it's in VR and you're holding the controllers in the gun stock, then it makes sense. So,
yeah, if I sight it from the back, the butt of the gun stock lines up with the two controllers, but yet the gun stock goes over at an angle.
Yeah, it's actually offset. Like you actually offset the So maybe when you get that video wrapped up, you can talk about that in there because that will help some people, I think. So
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a little different, but it works really well. I mean, it's fast for reloads. I'm not putting it in a cup or anything with the magnetic mounts, and they work really well.
I still have my box over there. I haven't put mine together yet, but
come on, man.
So I know I got to get on it, but. But we definitely appreciate everybody being here. Everybody's starting to head out, and we will definitely follow the Discord, and we will let you know for next weekend. So we will be here next weekend, just not sure exactly which day and time. So follow the Discord, stay up to date.
Yep, we'll see you here or see you guys in VR.
Later guys.